Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationships and it's by user Deleted, recovered Finister Lane. 26 female, am I being petty or is my husband not into me? 26 male. We dated for about 2 years before we got married. Once we got married, I felt like he changed. We've been married for nearly 6 years now, and I am struggling to be happy. I am open to the fact that I might be complaining about petty things, but I cannot deny how much they hurt my feelings. Number 1. The first obvious thing when we got married, he would not sleep in our bed with me. He slept on the couch. He didn't even mind telling people. He just said he liked it better there. I told him many times how much it hurt me that he didn't want to sleep with me. As a young newlywed girl, only 20 years old, it hurt. I thought something was wrong with me. He honestly hasn't slept in the same bed with me until about a year ago, which I now realize I think he only is now because we let our dog stay inside and he sleeps on the couch and can't be bothersome throughout the night. Number 2. He never wears a wedding ring. When we got married, I did get him a cheaper ring. It was stainless steel but looked great for the wedding. We both knew he was going through a late growth spurt, like his dad in his early 20s, and we didn't want to invest in a ring he possibly couldn't wear in a year. He said he didn't wear that one because of work. He worked in a furniture plant, so I accepted it. A couple of years go by and he's obviously done growing, and I buy him an awesome ring. A dark metal as he wanted with a gunmetal accent, made of tungsten so it would last and he could wear it anywhere. He wore it maybe 2 or 3 times. Now he says it makes his fingers sweat and he doesn't like how it feels. Did I ask about wearing it around his neck? Something? It has sat on his dresser for 3 years now. I offered to buy one of the silicone athletic rings. He wasn't interested. It just hurt. I felt he didn't want to be claimed. Number 3. Social media. I know this isn't a huge deal. I know, but it still hurt my feelings. He's not big into social media, but after we got married, he made a Facebook. He wouldn't bother posting he was married. I kept asking about it because I kept trying to add him on my profile as my husband, and it was being ignored. I thought it was no big deal, but I can't deny it hurt my feelings. He is now listed as married, but you have to dig for it. Number 4. When we're out in public, he doesn't care to hold my hand, or barely even walk beside me. Even if it's just the 2 of us, let alone if we're out with his friends or just one friend. I'm non-existent, especially if we're in a group. He's at one end and I'm at the other, while other people are walking with one another. It's not like he's engaged in conversations with other people. He just distances himself from me and it hurts. Number 5. This one was recent. Somehow, we got on the subject of when we met in college. I always thought he was so handsome and would brag about how he caught my eye. Just a few weeks ago, he reveals that he didn't think I was worth his time. Those words exactly. It crushed me. I asked him about it later, word for word, and he didn't correct me or change his story, so that must be what he honestly thought. So how did we end up together? He says that God told him if he didn't talk to me, he would regret it. Regardless, telling your wife she didn't look worth your time when she was in her prime, college girl body makes a late 20s female feel incredibly insecure. Early on in our marriage, I struggled with fearing he no longer liked me or his feelings had somehow changed because of the above, minus number 5. And other various actions and statements, but these were the ones that stuck and hurt. I would ask him about it, ask if we were all right, and tell him I didn't know if he liked me anymore. He would just get angry and give me an attitude about it. I would ask in tears, well, can you at least tell me what you like about me? I just needed assurance and comfort in the situation. I didn't think that was too much to ask for. I wasn't asking why he loved me, just what he liked about me. That alone would have helped. To this day, he's never been able to tell me a single thing. He has called me pretty and beautiful on occasion, but it's typically only after I've asked how do I look. But other than that, I have no idea what he likes about me. I couldn't get smart, funny, cute, quirky, anything. I would have taken anything. To be honest, I'm just heartbroken and torn. If it was one thing or two, maybe, okay. But all of them combined, along with other various hurts, I'm unhappy. But randomly, he'll make efforts. The thing is, I don't know if it's because he actually loves or likes or cares for me, or he feels he has settled into a relationship and doesn't want to deal with the confrontation and effort it takes to end one. So, am I being petty, or is my husband not into me? Well, P, in my opinion, I believe that you might not be into somebody, but you can still be polite to them. But in this case, this is your husband, and he's not only being dismissive of your feelings, but he's like actively ignoring you or making you feel bad about yourself on purpose. Like he really doesn't like you, not that he's not into you. And it's been 6 years of this. I would say enough is enough. In my case, I couldn't imagine treating my wife the way he treats you. It's just not right. From the things that you shared, not sleeping in the bed with you, or doing it now because the dog got the couch, not wearing your wedding ring, telling you you weren't worth his time, all of that stuff, that's just horrible. That's not how you're supposed to treat somebody you love. From what you tell us, he is aware that his behavior hurts you, but keeps on doing it. So if I were you, I'd be done with this thing. So what do you guys think? What is your opinion in this situation, or what would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. LaBale87 says, "Your husband sounds like my ex. All of what you said and more. Once in a date, I overheard the waitress tell another waitress she felt so bad for her only table because clearly the first date was not going well. We had been together almost 4 years then. A stranger pitied us. I told him what she said when we got home. He said, 'So?' I hung on a while longer, then I left. And I'm 1,000 times happier. My current husband constantly shows his love. Bath sets, yarn because I love it, little things. And I do the same for him. A man like that is out there for you. Don't cling to a mistake because you spent years making it," was the quote that helped me. Ibgem2 says, "As a married man of 20 years, I tell my wife the same things every day. I love you. Thank you for being my wife. You are beautiful. And babe, you rock. I hold her, I hug her, I kiss her. And when she walks past, I smack that ass. We hold hands when we are out and I hold doors for her. We sleep together in the same bed no matter where we are, traveling and home, and have since the day we met. We have the shows we watch, restaurants we like, and music we listen to. I buy foods she likes as surprises. We have had a standing Friday night pizza date for years and watched some flavor of a chick flick. We text each other during the workday. We volunteer together. I still tell her lame jokes 20 years in and she still laughs at my jokes. I still try to impress her. Each night when we go to bed, she goes up the stairs and I turn off the lights behind her and we head to bed. She's an awesome mom to our son. She's my chick and I'm her guy forever. That's how you should be treated by your husband." Fruit Parfait says, "I feel like a lot of these can be explained by depression or regret, but the whole God thing telling him he would regret passing you up is just ugh. Sounds like he got with you not because he wanted to at all. Perhaps he was afraid of being alone and figured you were better than nothing. No idea what his motivation was unless he actually believes God spoke to him or he's secretly gay and got married to cover it all up. It does happen. Now that he's married you, he doesn't have to woo you anymore, so he dropped the act and now he's not alone and figures he never will be since divorce is frowned upon wherever you guys are. You're still so young and can find another person who would actually appreciate and love you like you want. Don't be afraid to leave if it comes down to it, if talking and counseling isn't solving anything. Don't cling to a mistake because you spent years making it." What an awesome quote to sum up everything everybody said. Now let's move on to the update to see what happened next. Hello everyone, I was encouraged by many to make an update and I have one for you. Brace yourself, this is going to be a long one. First, I must point out, I was not expecting the number of responses I received and I appreciate everyone who shared their honest, transparent, and even vulnerable input. It was overwhelming, but in the best of ways. As for my response to all of this, I felt my feelings and fears were validated. I felt I had a right to voice my hurts, but for real this time. I was determined not to accept the defensive, "Why are we talking about this again? What happened? I thought you were over it," responses I kept getting. So, my husband and I talked. I laid it all out there. I honestly thought and carefully prepared myself for a mutual separation. I thought he was as done as I was. That was not the case. I do not know how to relay other reasons for my actions without giving some background to the situation. Why I reached a breaking point and sought the advice of strangers. I find myself asking why I'm doing this, but this is a place for relationship advice and I feel my experience could help others. So here we go. 3 months ago, my mother made an attempt on her life. She has battled mental illness for the majority of her life. It took a toll on my family. A lot happened in the days following. She survived, but it is still a delicate situation. During this, my husband was there but wasn't there. During one of the hardest moments of my life, cleaning my mom's vomit off her bed, washing her sheets while she's breathing on a ventilator, praying she wakes up, I felt alone. My husband and I had been through our own tough situations, but this event was shattering for me. I needed him more than I ever had, and I don't think he didn't want to be there for me. I just don't think he knew how. I had a little breakdown about a month ago. I told him, I just need someone to hold me and tell me everything is going to be okay. He just sat there, wouldn't even look at me. I brought up my feelings in this situation to him, asked him how he could just play Xbox while I bawled my eyes out in the bathroom after screaming my lungs out in the car on my way home. My face was a wreck, makeup running. He says, "I thought you were just working through it." I get that, sure, maybe some people do. I have before, I'm capable, I'm doing it now. But when you have a significant other, I guess I expected empathy, sympathy, anything. I would much rather cry alone than cry more wondering why I am doing it alone. Anyway, back to my update. We had a long talk. I shared those thoughts and then some. He left at my request. He showed up the next day, telling me how hard this was for him. I asked him to give me space and he respected it. That evening he asks to talk. Says he went to the park where we had our first date. Thought about what went wrong. He said he felt he had to be this adult for me. So much so, he forgot how to just love me. He wrote me a note. "I still love you, I just forgot how to show it." He told me all the things he loved about me, things I had never known or heard him say in our 8-year relationship, 6 married. He sent me flowers, found more on my car this morning. The day after he left, I went to the doctor. I hadn't had an appetite in a week and hadn't eaten in a few days. I was waking up every other hour and felt terrible. I was diagnosed with GAD, general anxiety disorder. They gave me meds. I haven't taken them right now, I'm just working on getting on a routine. I may introduce medication later, but for now, I know what I'm dealing with and I don't want to throw another variable into the equation. I'm sharing this because it further ratified my decision to ask him to leave. I am a wreck, I can acknowledge that now, and I don't know how to try and work on a relationship while trying to pull myself together at the same time. With that being said, we are still separated. It has been about 2 weeks now, and to be honest, I don't miss him like I think I would if it was meant to work out. Maybe it will hit me later? Are 2 weeks really long enough to process it? I don't know. Probably not. But for now, I'm happy. I'm doing yoga again in the mornings, I'm walking the dog by myself, I'm buying my groceries alone, and there's more room in the bed at night. I think I held on as long as I could, but somewhere down the road I gave up. I don't know the day or the moment, but I think my heart gave out before my head. Once my mind justified it, I couldn't help it. I am alone, but I am happy. I told him, during our initial talk, that it has been especially hard for me because I have been in relationships where I didn't have to ask someone to hold me while I cried and tell me it's going to be okay, where they knew to take my hand when I was hurting. Whistle at me if you think I look good. Send me a song that makes you think of me. Sleep with me for heaven's sake. I have never tried to compare him to other people. I don't believe that's fair. But when you've been treated better and you know it's possible to be understood by someone else and not fight for empathy on any level, it's hard to settle without it. You're not happy either, X, and I believe there is someone else out there who can love you and understand how to show it better than I. Someone who appreciates the things you do and the gifts you buy. I'm not that person, and you deserve to be happy too. Those were and still are my honest words to him, and anyone else who feels like they're fighting to be loved. It's not worth it. With as many people as there are in the world, you can find someone who understands you, who loves your quirks, your habits, who appreciates how you show love and can reciprocate it. There are too many people in the world to settle. I have found it before and I can find it again. So can you. Thank you for going on this journey with me. It isn't over, but I am more optimistic about the future than I have been in a long time. Opie's edit. I thought I should acknowledge people's concern about me not taking my medication. I appreciate your concern, truly I do, but I thought would briefly disclose my reasonings for attempting to better my own habits before I involved medication. I would first like to say I was diagnosed at an urgent care on a first-time visit with doctors who had never seen me before. So no, at first I did not take their, what seemed to me, hasty diagnosis too seriously at first. That is, until I did further research and realized what was happening to me. I do have panic attacks, but they are not your typical, for lack of a better word. My panic and anxiety attacks are not triggered by an emotional upset. They are called involuntary panic attacks and come on at random from chronic stress. They used to get intense, when I would lose feeling in my hands, face, experience dizziness, and later lose my appetite because I would panic over not knowing what was wrong with me, which led to me not sleeping and waking up every other hour. Now that I know what I'm dealing with, and it's not something serious, such as a seizure, I am able to breathe, acknowledge it, and tell myself that it will pass. It has been several weeks now. I have had a few, despite my attempts at reining in my stress levels, but I was able to handle them, breathe, and they have improved. If they worsen or escalate despite my efforts, I will resort to medicine. For now, I believe I have a better understanding and I am handling it. Thank you again for your concern and advice. Well, OP, I guess your soon-to-be ex or your current ex just got there too late. None of it should have ever happened, and it sucks that it had to take you telling him that you were done for him to really understand what was going on. I have to say that the way you're looking at it now that you're separated, that, you don't need to settle, that's a very healthy way of seeing it in my opinion. So, thank you for sharing, OP, and all the best in the future. Take care. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.